This mind does not hold still. This is from Gurbani, yeah? This mind does not hold still even for an instant. It is distracted by all sorts of distractions. It wanders around aimlessly in 10 directions. Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Guru Granth Sahib Ji spends more time talking about the mind than it does talking about God. There is more Gurbani that talks about the mind, and we even see in Anand Sahib, "E man meria, why are you thinking like this? Don't hold on to your family. Tu sada raho har nale. You always be with God. Why do you work like this? Kahe man tu dolata. Why, oh my mind, are you wavering?" Gurbani spends more time teaching us about our mind than it does about anything else. So you get to now see what the deeper meaning of what Bani is trying to teach you. It's not interested in showing you something called God. It's interested in showing you something called God. Two very different things. The God that we have been taught about, I like to call him Mr. God. Yeah? He's like a nice character with a white beard, sitting in the clouds somewhere. That's a fiction, a fictional character. Gurbani is not interested in that. Taram is not interested in that. And the reality is, no religion is actually talking about that guy. But now, we've misinterpreted all religions to think that it's praise of something external. But Gurbani, if it was praise of something external, why does Gurbani talk to you about the mind? Why does it talk to you about your desires, your kaam, krodh, lobh, moh, ahankar? It would say, carry on having that, just keep worshipping this external thing. But it doesn't. The reason it's trying to do that is because it wants you to know that there's something inside you that's more than what you know. What you know about yourself, there's something deeper. That's what Guru Nanak is trying to teach you. So Guru Nanak starts by explaining the mind. It tries to tell you that this is what's happening in your mind. And it says the mind doesn't hold still for even 1 second. So now we ask, well, what is the mind? Does anybody know what is the mind? The mind is a collection of thoughts. It's like traffic. I have a very simple analogy that hopefully will help you understand what the mind is. What is the mind? Imagine you're standing at a train station. Imagine you're standing at the platform of a train station and hundreds of trains are going past. Each thought is like one of those trains whizzing past at 1,000 miles an hour. That is what the mind is doing, just constantly thinking. But what do? We don't stay on the platform and just look at the thoughts and say, okay, they're there, that's fine. What do? We keep catching another train. We keep jumping onto another train. We keep jumping onto another thought. So what happened when I sat you down and I said for 30 seconds, just look at what's happening in your mind, all of you, or most of you, just jumped on the next train that came along. The next thought that came in front of you, whether you wanted to catch that thought or not, you jumped on it. And what happens is if you catch that particular train, you will go in whatever direction that takes you. So let's say you started thinking about your school. Within about 10 or 15 seconds, you'll forget about what that initial thought was, and you'll start thinking about your friends in school. And then within about 10-15 seconds after that, you'll start thinking about one particular friend. That person did this to me, and I can't believe that that person did that to me. And then you'll think about that person said, we should really go on a holiday together. And then you start thinking about, wouldn't it be nice to go to Spain? I hear the weather's very good in Spain. And within about 10 or 15 or 20 seconds, what started off as one thought has now gone in a completely different direction. And you would have seen this in your own mind. That you come back after a minute and say, I don't understand how I got here. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. I started thinking about something and now I'm thinking about this. It's because you jumped onto that train of one thought and it just goes so fast that you have no control about where it's going. So this is what the mind is. The mind is constant traffic going on. Meditation Simran and all these things is learning how to stay on the platform. Does that make sense? Meditation, Simran, Naam, Dhyan, all these words that you hear, it's about learning how to stay and not jump onto every single thought. To be content sitting in the platform. But we don't do this, and we don't know how to do this. So at the moment we're lost in mind. And when we jump from one thought to another, to another, to another, remember all of these thoughts are about those bricks that we've laid around us of self-identity. That's what we're thinking about. So we're just revisiting all of those bricks. Is like, I need to think about this one, I need to think about that one. It's like you're going around the house and just checking everything's okay. You're going and you're inspecting your own fortress. Is this okay? Is that okay? Have I done that? Yeah, I've done that one. Oh, I haven't done that one. Oh yeah, that still needs to be done. I can't believe I don't like that person. Do you see what I mean? All you're doing is revisiting all of the bricks in your house, and you're just polishing them, making sure they're still okay. That's what you're doing with your thoughts all the time. And when you do this all day, every day, you say, this is who I am. I am all these things and I am all these thoughts. So this is Home, me, I, my ego, myself. Yeah? Ego isn't a negative thing. In English, ego and pride are always interchangeable. The people use ego and pride as interchangeable things. But in reality, what Gurbani is talking about is not about ego and hankar. It's talking about Home, me, I exist, my self-identity. Yeah? So Barney is talking about who am I? And mind is, most of what we think about ourselves is based in our mind. And when we spend all of our day just following our mind, then we are mind-facing. We are constantly facing our mind. Man, mukh. Mukh means I'm facing in this particular direction. You know, today we use the word manmukh almost like a swear word. You know, oh, that guy, he's a manmukh, I'm a gurmukh. Right? Like, that's bad and that's good. But gurmukh and manmukh isn't about good and bad. Gurmukh and manmukh is just about states of mind. So most of us are just facing our mind all the time. So Barney is saying, you're mind-facing, you're manmukh. Your face is, your awareness, your attention is on your mind, manmukh. So that's who we are. He says, in your thoughts, you're constantly running all the time. But you can't run away from the guy who is on the platform. He's the one that you have to find. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Aggon dekhe, pichon dekhe, tujhte kahan chupawe. I see ahead of me, I see behind me, but I can't run away from you. People interpret that as thinking that he's talking about Mr. God. He's not talking about an external God. He's talking about the internal God. What does your mind want? Your mind wants to exist. You know the train? You know the thoughts? Those thoughts want your attention. And you'll see how easy it is to lose your attention. You're sitting here listening to me, anything happens around the room, your attention goes there first. Why? Because I am challenging your attention. I'm demanding your attention to be focused in one place. And your attention doesn't want that. Your mind wants, look at me, look at me, look at me. I saw this great t-shirt in London once. It was a girl's t-shirt that said, I was going to take over the world, but then I saw something sparkly. And that's how easy it is to just lose your attention. The same can be said for guys as well. It's so easy to lose your attention. Just a bird flies outside and your mind goes there. Why? You're not conscious of it. It's not, I'm not having a go at anyone. You're not conscious of it. We're not conscious of it. But your mind is constantly looking for the next distraction. And your mind wants that, it wants to distract you. Because if you conquer your mind and say, mind, I don't need you anymore, go away. If you stop all the trains, all that you know about yourself will fall. Your mind is all of these self-identity bricks that you've built around you. If you stop and you say, I don't associate with any of these, the entire fortress is destroyed. Your entire self-identity and everything that you know about yourself is gone. And we don't want that. The truth of the matter is that this brick wall that we've built around ourselves, we quite like it. I quite like my self-identity. I'm not a bad person. I don't mind that I'm a Man United supporter. I don't mind it. I quite like that about myself. I quite like that I do a bit of seva in the Gurdwara. I quite like that I have Sikhi Sarup. I quite like that I listen to my parents. You know what that's called? Attachment. Attachment is all those bricks that you've got around you, you're holding on to them, so don't take that away from me. If I say to you, you know what, forget Manchester United, let's just change right now. Right here, right now, just change and pick a different team. You'll find a struggle inside you. You say, no, hang on. I've put a lot of time and investment into liking this football team. I quite like their team. I've spent a lot of time thinking about them. Attachment. I'm holding on to that brick. And when somebody comes to take that brick away from you, say, no, you can't take that one away from you. I say, come, give me you know what, I don't like your name. Let's just give you all new names. What will you say? Say, no, this is my name. This is my identity. This is who I am. This is called attachment. When Gurbani talks about attachment, it's saying that you're holding on to all these things and you're basically saying, please don't rock it. Don't shake my world. I've just put all of these bricks in place. Don't go knocking it down. Gurbani and Guru Nanak Dev Ji is a sledgehammer. Guru Nanak wants nothing else but to knock every single one of those bricks down for you. Because when he knocks all those bricks down, the light that's sitting inside that house will shine. It won't be restricted anymore. Does that make sense? We're all holding on to these things. We're holding on to these thoughts. Your mind tries to distract you with these things. And how do we keep our mind distracted? TV, music, gossip, shopping, wants, desires, needs, fears, things I like, things I don't like, things that are complete, things that are not complete. Your mind, these are the trains of thoughts constantly going on. Is there anything wrong with these things? No. There's nothing wrong with these things. That's how we've all been built. This is who we are. And we didn't choose to have a mind was given to us. It's not a question of good or bad, right or wrong. The question is, are you going to live in the darkness of the mind, or are you going to live in the radiance of what's sitting behind the mind? Gurbani uses the word mal, dirt, mala. It says, man male, sab kich mala. Of all the dirt, the filthiest dirt is the mind. Of all the types of dirt, the filthiest dirt is the mind. Tan to te man hacha na hoye. By washing your body and going to all these holy places and dipping in the Sarovar of Amritsar, tan to te man hacha na hoye. Your mind doesn't become good just by going to these holy places and washing yourself and becoming religious and wearing a pug and all that stuff. That doesn't do anything. Gurbani is interested in what's happening in here. Why? Because the guy sitting inside the fortress is waiting to shine. The being, the light, the jyot that's inside you is waiting to shine, but it's restricted by this fortress around you.